Hi everyone, and welcome to your new S3 topic in computing science, all about the environment. What we're going to look at over the next few weeks is computing science and the impact that it has on the world. So for your first lesson this week, what we're going to do is work out or calculate our carbon footprint. So we're going to start by having a think about what we do during the day, on a normal day in lockdown, from the minute you wake up to the minute you go to bed. Okay, so what I'm going to get you to do is look at the task sheet that I've attached to this notification, and there's a space for you to write down a list of everything that you do. So I've written a short example on the right hand side of this screen here. So you wake up, get in the shower, check the news, get dressed and have some breakfast. Okay, now that's obviously just a morning routine, and you will do everything that you do during the day. So if you maybe play the Xbox or PlayStation, or you sit on your phone for an hour or so, anything like that, if you use a hairdryer, hair straighteners, and think of everything that you do in a normal day during lockdown and get that written down. So I would say you should pause the video just now and wait until you've finished writing your list of everything that you do in a typical day, and then resume playing this video. So now you should have a completed list of everything that you do in a day during lockdown. So what we're going to focus on in this lesson is the impact that we have on the environment ourselves. Okay, so by the end of this lesson, you should be able to understand and describe what a carbon footprint is. We should be able to list examples of what affects a person's carbon footprint, and also state what your own carbon footprint is. So with that list of activities that you do in a normal day during lockdown, what I want you to do is go back to that task sheet and highlight all of the parts of the day where you've used technology. Okay, so for example, waking up requires no technology. However, when I check the news, it requires technology either on my phone or TV. So I would highlight each item that uses technology. Then with another color highlighter, I want you to highlight the parts of your day where you haven't used technology, but you could have. Okay, so for example, checking the news, if I just read a newspaper every morning, that doesn't require any technology. However, if I look at it on my phone or on the TV, that would use technology. So you should go through and highlight your list according to where you've used technology and where you haven't, but there was scope to use technology. Okay, so maybe do the ones where you've used technology in green and where you could have used technology in red, for example. That should take you a couple of minutes, so you can pause this video and then come back to it for the next slide. So now on your task sheet, you should have a list of all activities you do from morning to night. You should also have highlighted some that you have used technology to complete those activities, and also some that you have not used technologies but you could have. So what we're going to look at now is more specific, our carbon footprint. Okay, so it is a term that you may have heard in other subjects, and maybe geography or sciences. So what we're going to do is have a look and see what a carbon footprint is, and then finally work out how we calculate our own. So a carbon footprint is historically defined as the total emissions caused by an individual, event, organisation or product expressed as carbon dioxide equivalent. Greenhouse gases, including CO2, can be emitted through land clearance and the production and consumption of food, fuels, manufactured goods, materials, wood, roads, buildings, transportation and other services. So what we're saying there is that greenhouse gases can be released into the atmosphere even by creating foods, eating foods, sourcing fuels, burning fuels, anything like that, all contribute to our carbon footprint. So what I would like you to do is open up the carbon footprint calculator file that I've attached to this notification. And I would like you to have a look at the list of activities that you compiled at the start of this lesson and transfer those into this spreadsheet. So as you can see, I've just done some examples. So there's a hairdryer, straighteners, a kettle, a computer, and a TV. These are all of the things that required me to use technology. What I would like you then to do is to add in the timings of how long you use them for. So for example, as you can see, this example is definitely not mine. I don't have enough hair to use a hairdryer or straighteners. But if you were to use a hairdryer for 10 minutes, that's the equivalent of 0.17 hours. And the way the spreadsheet is formulated is that you only have to type in the amount of minutes and it will automatically calculate how many hours you use that for in a day. So as you can see, hairdryer is 10 minutes, straighteners is 10 minutes. A kettle is going to be less, so that'll be 4 minutes, maybe boiled twice. A computer is 8 minutes, say I was just checking my emails or something, and a TV for 2 minutes just in the morning as you wake up, for example. Okay, so try and be as realistic with your timings as possible. Again, that should take you a wee while to complete, so you could pause the video before we move on to the next slide. So now that you have added in all of your timings for each activity, what I would like you to do is just use Google to work out the average wattage of each of the devices you've listed, okay, and then fill them in the average watts column on your spreadsheet. So as you can see, it says here that I've used a hairdryer for 10 minutes. So what I did was Google what is the average wattage of a hairdryer, and I got 1500 watts, so I put that value in the column. Okay, so if you go down to D3, average watts, and then I've just Googled and found the value of the average watts and placed them into the spreadsheet where appropriate. Okay, again then the kilowatts on the right hand side in the very last column will automatically populate whenever you put in a value to the average watts. So again, a couple of minutes to get that done. You can pause this video before we move on. So now you have added in how long you use each device for, and you should have worked out the average wattage for each device, which will have given you the kilowatts as well, all automatically populated. So on your calculator, you'll see that there is a total used daily title. There's also total used monthly and total used yearly. So what you can do is click into the column or the cell just to the right of the title total used daily. So I'll see if I can highlight this here for you. So if you click into this cell, okay, and then you're going to type in equals, apologies for this writing, sum, and then you're going to open your brackets and you're going to highlight from this cell down to this cell. Okay, so it's going to take in all of your values for the kilowatts that you've used for every single device. You can then press enter, and what that is going to do is tally up all of these values and give you a total used daily amount. Okay. Now, in order to then work out the total used monthly, again, what you're going to do is click into this cell here, just where it says total used monthly. And again, you're going to say equals sum. You're going to open up your bracket and you're going to click this cell here for your daily value. Okay. What you're then going to add in, so that would give me the value E10 here. You're then going to type in multiply or the asterisk, and because we're trying to work out the monthly total, you're going to just say either 30 or 31, just do whatever, how many days this month has. Okay, so multiplied by, say, 31, and press enter, and that is going to then take this value for total used daily and multiply it by 31 and give you a value for how many kilowatts of energy that you're using in a month. Okay. What you're then going to do for the total used yearly is do the exact same, follow those same steps. However, you're going to multiply that monthly total by 12 because there's 12 months in the year, obviously, and that is then going to give you the total used yearly. And that value that you see, so here this example, 159.24 kilowatts, okay, is 13.09 multiplied by 12, and therefore this value highlighted in yellow is my carbon footprint. Okay, so once you have completed that, there is a space on your task sheet as well, underneath where you should have filled out the questions that says, what is your carbon footprint? And that's where you're going to put this value, whatever yours may be, into that box. Okay, now the final task of this lesson, if you're still wanting to do a bit more work on carbon footprints, is to see if you can work out the carbon footprint for everybody in your household. Okay, so obviously everyone's going to have different routines that they undertake every day. You're going to maybe use more technology yourself than a parent or carer would, or if you've got little brothers or sisters, they may use less technology in terms of phones and hair dryers and straighteners and everything, but they may utilize the television a lot more than you. So it would be interesting to see what everybody's carbon footprint is in your household. If you do work that out, you can just pop a note onto the end of your task sheet and let me know who has the biggest carbon footprint. But as long as you've got the task sheet completed with your highlighted list of activities, with the 2 answers for our carbon footprint and greenhouse gases and how they're emitted, and then also the value of your carbon footprint. As long as that's all done, that is you finished with the lesson, so you can save the task sheet and submit it to Satchel 1. Now that we've finished lesson 1 of the environment, I want you to have a wee think back and see just how successful you think you've been. Can you describe what a carbon footprint is? If you can, and you could maybe teach others about it, you would give yourself 5 stars. If you're still struggling about the concept, and maybe it's you're almost there but you need some extra help, give yourself 2 stars and let me know. Can you list examples of what affects a person's carbon footprint? And also, can you state what your carbon footprint is? Okay, so if you've completed the task to calculate your carbon footprint correctly, you should be getting 5 stars for that last point there. Okay, so that's the end of lesson 1, everyone. Let me know how you get on, and I look forward to seeing everybody's responses on Satchel 1. Bye-bye.